12/6/2022. This is the poem that didn't take when I did it live. To those who write to survive the next sunrise, otherwise you would have died long, long ago, thank you till next time. My friends, I pray for no unexpected piano movements today, as the little girl happily licks her ice cream cone as if the world were sane. Sometimes the flower doesn't understand why the sun went away, but it still loves the sun, and then all of a sudden the sun returns, obscured only for a while by a cloud, but to the flower it was forever. And the sun says to the grateful, confused flower, what was the big deal? And the flower cries, I thought I'd never see you again. And the sun says, my ways are not your ways, silly flower. And the flower is left to process this for the rest of his existence. Meanwhile, Princess the Chihuahua brings all she knows of barking to this beautiful day. At the McDonald's walk-up window on West Burnside, the aliens turn to me and say, why should we know why we're here? Do you know why you're here? Because I have only $4, I say. Law school tasted like zombie. I puked up that shit. Enjoy the nice day because it's not gonna last, says the weather lady with perfect teeth. I dreamed the poets quit poetry to become video poker gamblers. They seemed fundamentally happier. When the tulips last bloomed in the sandbox, I was a nihilist and didn't notice. The midget and the man holding hands as they enter the orgy. Magic. Post-coitus, we critique my poetry video. I think I've nailed the essence of things, baby. I really do. This shit ain't making you any money, she says. You need to monetize your thoughts. You need to call your next video, click on this, and win a free vacation. There was a torrent of sadness to his love, and in everything he wrote, afflicting even his jokes, the 10-year-old neighbor girl said. Meanwhile, the tulips are starting to bloom just in time for the time traveler who says, remember to turn your computer off before midnight, December 31, 1999. The ignorant waste their 15 minutes screaming, the shallowest brook babbles the loudest. That's why I want to wander in the desert where no brooks are. It's too loud here. Sometimes God, evolution, or aliens are nowhere to be found, and we're left with the self and the self's desperation to keep going, to stay alive, to appear sane for the others. I keep going by turning my desperation into something I can perform as if I were dying. Dear recent graduates, please rid the sad addictive world of money. Dear tiny piece of watermelon stuck in my tooth gap, please leave me. My next reading calls for me to fall asleep. What did you do before the internet was invented, the 10-year-old neighbor girl says. Watch TV. What did your parents do before TV? They say they played outside with actual friends, but you can't always trust your parents. The fact that there's a highway to hell and only a stairway to heaven says a lot about the anticipated traffic numbers. Vitamin D is sweet, but I'm missing me some vitamin rain, baby. Once I had a first wife. What was she like? She left a trail of light to the coffee maker. She left radiant fingerprints on her cigarettes. She often glowed like a child waving a poem in the window, or that glass of milk we left upon the moon so we could make love in peace. I placed her on a pedestal called Impossible. It did not help me sleep when I gave up counting sheep for counting the faces of every human I ever loved. That was a mistake. Suffering has finally taught me that what I've interpreted as the inane chatter of others is simply the honest expression of their truth in that moment, necessary and true to them, as anything that I write is necessary and true to me. The drunks, slurring their sermons of lowbrow lust and triviality, are sharing their perfect poems of the moment. The human shouting, fuck, 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 as he charges down the sidewalk, dragging his dog, is sharing his perfect poem of the moment. I can't explain away mental pain. On sunny days I Google the rain. There was this one time I lived in the present and I laughed so hard I cried. Someday a 25-year-old assistant manager will say, "Sorry, Mike G, you're not fit enough to survive." She walks the dog in curly cues, pukes her guts when she gets bad news, bleed her heart, she'll say she's through and destroy you. And when we love, we're like a flower, feed on sunshine and shit on power. From seedy origins, babe, above the stars we tower. I've eaten from the time tree, ate its fruit at the crossroads in darkness with the shadow man who gave me the gift. Open my mind. Trees grow on time, and what is love? I know the answer if you do not ask, but if you ask, I do not know. I've been 10 since the bullshit Mayan non-eschaton 12/21/2012, the 10-year-old neighbor girl says. Do you resolve to get healthier in the new year 2023, she says? Fuck no. It's all one big sordid puppet show, but it's interesting. Each year exposing to entropy is interesting. We're each other's interesting saviors, you say. Ain't that interesting? The rock bottom meaning of our interesting lives. Interesting, the shuffling in tiny circles of suffering. Interesting, the healing laughter and dancing in the aftermath. And surely our orgasms were as interesting as ever. Those scalding winces of pleasure evaporating the self in the interesting instant. Interesting how cold it is now, and how hot it was then when the thens were hot, how the interesting sun gives way to interesting rain. It's interesting getting older in a human body, and interesting to notice the miracle of rising from bed to meet the interesting day with its interesting role play. In 2023, I've decided to end my performances with, any questions? Here's a preview. Finally, the holographic alien invasion televised sky came with microwave popcorn discounts for the shivering courtyard dissidents. Any questions? Extra butter, please, the 10-year-old says. Like a worm through the apple of truth, she said. We're getting tequila tomorrow. Everyone deals with the end times in their own way. The creative arc shot through the dome that enclosed us. Our hand puppets babbling backwards in classical Greek. Helena, the backsliding poet, offering herself in the pyramid. Eratosthenes charting his grief with shadows and string. A time of booming business for graveyards and birth canals. The firebirds splashing into music and everywhere light. I'll wake on New Year's Day 2023, all tabula rasa, newborn amazed, to feel the weather in this skin, all perceptions original again, and stuffing beers, cigarettes, nipples in my mouth for the first time and wanting more. Meanwhile, adulthood happened. Diamonds sparkled in the feces of the princess. I've decided the cosmos is against stasis, she says. When death comes, I'll be excited for a change. How's the broken sun fixed with its spilled shine? Straw brains on crucifix where the lightning was, and even rats know not to make a deity of now. We have the past and the Pleiades rising on YouTube. The webs we've made have saved us from extinction, and even the chickens are mimicking orgasm. The invader has made her other. The human is gone from the eyes I love. The human I love is not within. Give me the death prayer, then. They've enthroned me in the hallway to stop the crazies. I think she deserves him, and I deserve the cornfield. Then I remembered the limitation was a fiction. The wings grew back when I remembered them, and the plastic scepter changed the straw to brains. Finally animated, 1,000 things feel sorry for me. That horrible bright thing that some call the sun that became one with my eye and burst now flows a ruin of sewage in my room, and she dances. But it's not her. She was onion. The onion's deepest layer was once known as the seed of wisdom. You're in a machine now, not a garden, she says. I can't talk to Larry during a Blazer game, she says. He sits there with his beer like a drooling totem pole. Breaking news, an interstellar turd just rocketed through our solar system. Call Elon Musk. Meanwhile, I shall continue no matter what my lifelong comprehensive cunnilinguising of the word. The ice pig shall be vanquished, and our love song shall fly over speed bumps, despite Elon Musk's and Kanye's anti-love boys club. It's all about your mental health. Above your nose, you're not yourself. This and other metaphysical fables displayed on signs at the counter DSM-5 protest in a Clackamas alley, the supermoon stuffing its face with rocky road. My poems try to go to a pre-language land of babies not yet differentiated into the genders and colors that make the sadness palpable and divide and conquer possible. She dreamed she was an ornament on a Christmas tree. She wasn't even shaped like a person, but she was shiny, almighty in her light. As the onion rolls through, the labyrinth flowers bloom, and love coming from the moon could make a mad elephant sing in tune. Letter dated 1905, found in a Hell's Kitchen chimney. Dear Santa Claus, I am very glad that you are coming around tonight. My little brother would like you to bring him a wagon, which I know you cannot afford. Please bring him whatever you think best. Mary McGann, age 6. P.S. Please do not forget the poor. Further exploration uncovered a response letter. Dear Mary, Santa believes in austerity measures now. Make America great again. Build back better. Love, Santa. I tell children that everything goes into the poem, including the human sink. Her hand has grabbed a rubber plant. She tells the truth, but tells it slant. She ain't no silly playground rant. It's scripture. Finally, my friends, concerning my colossal intelligence and vast cosmic wisdom, I confess but one regret. Wouldn't be such a chick and done a lot more pussy licking if I only had some balls. Thank you, Portland. See you next time I'm in town. Good night now.